Everybody, welcome to Vikings Report Rewind and happy Thanksgiving. As always, I'm your host, Ted Glover, and with me are my usual partners in crime, Drew Bunning, my co-host on Vikings Report with Drew and Ted, and our co-conspirator on Vikings Report Rewind, the founder, Grand Poobah, lead blogger, numero uno, rightero, guy, Christopher Gates from the SB Nation Vikings website, the Daily Norseman. And of course, the one in the background making it all happen, Ruby Toonces Bunning. Happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. How was your day?
It got a whole lot better there at the end with the Vikings holding on, winning that football game. Holy, what a game that was! That was impressive.
Another good game. Drew, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving, my man.
Dude, we're 9-2, and I have no idea how. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you guys, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody tuning in the chat. Welcome. There's still time to get another plate of turkey. Get some turkey, some wild turkey, whatever. Get some kind of turkey. We got a lot to talk about on this show, and we did it again somehow, some way, gentlemen.
Yeah. So now 11 games into the season, the Vikings are in the plus column for points for or against. I guess that was like a big talking point last week.
That doesn't even matter to me.
It's like
the dumbest, so stupid.
Dumbest talking point ever.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have a better point differential than the Vikings do, and those guys are 3-7 right now. So forget all of that.
Do point differentials mean wins?
No.
Shut it.
So just getting a quick rundown of the vibe in the room. A couple I've seen so far. Happy Thanksgiving. Everybody's wishing us a happy Thanksgiving. And the Vikings are not frauds. A couple comments I've seen from Freebird, our buddy AJ, and then Jay Johnson. I would agree with that statement, guys. Drew, you just said the Vikings are 9-2, and I don't know how. And that's kind of a fair statement these last couple of weeks after that thumping that the Cowboys put on the Vikings. Are the Vikings frauds? Are they legit now again with this win tonight?
They're not a fraud, but they are flawed. My big thing with this team is, and I was talking to Toonces during the game, I don't know what's happened to this defense the last two games. Up to when we were 8-1, up to all those games, I kind of was getting more faith in the defense. They seemed to be getting better to me, which in turn made me, have more faith in the team that we're moving past a lot of our flaws and we're going to become an elite team. The defense is taking there's a point where I don't even want to take the defense to take the field there for a while.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, the Cowboys had 10 possessions and scored on 8. The Patriots scored on, I think, 6 or 7. That's 14 of 17 drives over the course of the last 2 weeks. The other team scored either a field goal or a touchdown. I don't know what the hell is happening. I know Dantzler's out, Chris, and I know Tomlinson's out, but those two guys can't make the difference of the faltering the Vikings are feeling right now. Tell me what's going on with the defense.
No, there was something, I think it was either midway through the third quarter, late in the third quarter, something where not only had Mac Jones not been sacked at this point, the Vikings hadn't even hit him to that point in the game. They couldn't sniff Mac Jones for whatever reason. I mean, Danielle Hunter he showed up at the end of the game, but there was no real anything from Zadarius Smith. I don't know if it's what Ed Donatel is calling defensively. I don't know if teams are just scheming the Vikings to try to get Hunter and Smith away from their quarterbacks and whatnot. But yeah, like you said, there was like 14 out of 17 drives that resulted in points for the opponent. And, to their credit at the end on those last couple of drives, the Vikings finally stood up defensively. But
yes,
yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with this defense, but it's not great.
That's the amazing thing, Ted, as I throw it back to you. They can't stop them all day, but they stop them on the last 4 drives. When the money's on the table, they come through, which they've been doing all year. But I don't know. I mean, that second quarter, they were just driving through us. I don't know what the problem is. What do you think?
Well, I'm getting comments saying my mic is muffled. How is it now? I switched.
It's better now. Better now.
Better now.
I think you're fine. Yeah,
okay.
You're good.
All right. Yeah. So, and Drew, you said the last 3 games. I would actually go back. I would go back to the Buffalo. Well, it was like Buffalo, Dallas, or you said last 3 games. I go back to the last 3 games because Buffalo ran up and down the field. I mean, they had a whole bunch of offense, but the difference then was the Vikings made more stops earlier in the game. Like you said, there was no stopping the Patriots tonight. It was weird how easy the Patriots would go up and down the field when it felt like they needed to or had to take the lead or whatever. It was aggravating.
It seems to me, I don't know for a fact, but I think Bill Belichick looked at that Cowboys tape because I've seen a lot of the same plays. They were running a lot of those quick little square outs, little passes in the flat to the wide receiver. They were running a lot of the same stuff Dak Prescott was throwing, guys. So I think he might have looked at that film as a blueprint to beat us.
The thing that I didn't understand, Mac Jones is kind of a known quantity. I mean, he's not a mobile guy, and he doesn't do well under pressure. He's one of the worst quarterbacks when pressured in the NFL. And this is what I don't get about the Vikings defense. And we've talked about this all season. They stay in this soft cover 2, cover 4 shell. Defensive backs are off the ball, and they seem to be okay with letting offenses complete easy passes for 8-9 yards and setting up very makeable second and third down conversion attempts. And we saw that again tonight. And I think Mac Jones had close to 400 yards passing. I mean, it was like 3.
Well, he was at 382.
Ted, how do you count for the last few drives though? They shut it down. How did they shut it down then? But they couldn't shut it down during the game. But the last 3 drives, they were trying that same shit, and we were knocking the ball away. We were defending the passes. We were getting a rush on. I mean, I don't know.
They brought more pressure. I think they had extra guys rushing her, and a couple times it looked like Zadarius and Danielle Hunter were doing some stunts and twists and moves on the inside, and it worked. And they weren't the first 55, 56 minutes of the football game, which was like weird. I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
There was one drive they had after we scored the first touchdown. I think there was like 4 or 5 plays. Just shredded us down the field. Just shredded us.
Yeah. The middle of the field.
Oh,
the Vikings defense in the middle of the field was.
There isn't any.
Yeah, it was Denny's. It was Denny's. It was open all night, man. It was unbelievable.
Man.
But let's conversely flip that around to the Vikings offensive line. There was a lot of talk about Blake Brandel and how would he do. And look, I got to say, I mean, there were a couple times Ed Ingram, I mean, was called for a holding where if he didn't hold, Kirk Cousins might still be in the hospital because it was it judo? They moved judo inside and he just blew right by Ed Ingram like a hurricane going through Florida, man. But for the most part, looking at this game, they held up. I mean, they had their moments. They gave up a couple of pressures. But one thing that Kirk did this week that I don't think he did last week one time was the couple times he was pressured and he moved in the pocket and created some time and completed some passes. Chris, Drew's agreeing. Are you kind of on board with that as well?
Absolutely. I mean, it seemed like they tried to implement some kind of quicker passes and whatnot, which is something they failed to do last week. But, like you said, when Cousins had to move around in the pocket a little bit, he was able to do that. But, you talk about some of the things that can help your offensive line. If there is a worse team in the National Football League at running a screen than the Minnesota Vikings, someone's going to have to tell. We haven't run a screen successfully since Chester Taylor was here. Seriously, I don't know what the hell.
Chris, it's bad.
The tight end screen doesn't work. The wide receiver screen doesn't work. The running back screen, it doesn't work. Figure out what the hell's wrong with it or just junk it. Honest to God, it's awful.
I am shocked at how bad our screen game is. It's like they've never practiced it together. Bad, very bad. And in terms of Kirk, I think what O'Connell told him this week, I noticed Kirk stepping up in the pocket more. Stepping up in the pocket to make a throw that he wasn't doing against Dallas. And I also think O'Connell told him, get the hell out of that pocket when the pressure starts coming, because he ran out of there a bunch of times. And it seemed to me he was running faster than normal. Now, Kirk is no burner, but it seemed like he was stepping on it a little faster this week than getting around the corner a little bit, moving around. But I agree. He was standing back there against Dallas and getting nailed. And I think they made a point to get him out. Get out of there.
And to that, I also think the Vikings did a very good job of rolling Kirk out on design rollouts too, to kind of avoid the pressure. And I thought their game plan, with kind of a hampered offensive line was pretty good. Last week the thing that frustrated me was when it was getting 17, 20 to 3, 23 to 3, the Vikings and it was obvious that the offensive line with Darisaw out was not holding up, that they still decided to go to 5 and 7 step drops, and they didn't go, 3-step drops, make one read, throw, whatever. They didn't do any of that last week. And I thought the Vikings, for the most part, did a very good job of that this week. Kirk got the ball out quick. There were a lot of quick reads and throws. Justin Jefferson again made some ridiculous catches. And when they did go deep, the offensive line protection was there. It held up for the most part.
And that pass he threw to Cousins, that was a beautiful pass in the back of the end zone.
Oh, the Thielen?
Thielen. He dropped that thing right in there. That was really, really nice. But I see him moving around a lot this week compared to last week. And I'm going to tell you something. Remember that towards the end of the game when he got that late snap from Bradbury and he chucked the ball on the ground and yelled?
Yes.
I was watching. You know what I said? Good. That's what you want. That's what the headspace you want that guy in. You want him pissed off. He's better when he's angry. And when he got angry, I go, all right, this is where Kirk's better than sulking. When he gets mad, he's a better quarterback. So I was like fired up that he was pissed.
Real quick, to everybody in the room joining us tonight, thank you so much for joining us, spending part of your Thanksgiving with us. Happy Thanksgiving. We are going to give away a prize at the end of the night. To enter, just make a comment. If you haven't made a comment yet, just say hi. Happy Thanksgiving. We won. Whatever your comment is. One comment means you're entered. You can only enter one time. At the end of the show, Ruby's going to spin. You'll be eligible for a prize if you win. You can go over to VikingsReport.com to check out our Vikings Report prize vault. Those are the prizes you'll be eligible to choose from, to include, I believe, we have a Fawad Reveiz jersey in there if somebody hasn't claimed it yet. And I'd be willing to give Fawad a call to get rid of Greg Joseph, because I'm done. That's five games in a row. Greg Joseph missed an extra point, Drew.
We're throwing the Fawad Reveiz jersey in for the Super Toe winner.
Oh, that's right. We are. My bad.
But we got a Bernard Berrien in the mail last night. Beautifully stitched, embroidered name, embroidered number. We don't do the press on. It's Bernard Berrien. That's it.
No No jerseys from Vikings Report. You get a full by God jersey.
That went in yesterday. It's going to be in there, a picture of it in there now. But we're going to give away a prize. We're very proud of our prize vault. And we're proud that the Vikings came away with this win. I have so many questions for you guys about the offense and the execution. And this team's still a mystery.
Man, the last time I saw Fuad Reves, he was hosting a show on the DIY network. I mean, I haven't heard of seeing a frat guy. Honest to God, he had a show for like 2 years on the DIY network. He was doing like home remodeling or some crap. But no, I mean,
with Vanilla Ice?
No, that was a different show.
Oh,
okay. The Vikings have a mini bye coming up. How do you not bring kickers in during this mini bye? I mean,
what the hell's so hard about kicking a freaking extra point?
I mean, they said on the broadcast, field goals under 50 yards. The dude's perfect this year. Extra points, he's missed 5. He's missed like all but 1 of his field goals over 50 yards. What? You shouldn't be that inconsistent. Like that's like a 30 some odd yard field goal. If you're a professional kicker, you should hit that.
And
you know,
look,
I don't understand.
I think almost every kicker in the NFL, now that they've moved the extra point back, has missed 1 or 2 a year. So you sort of come to say every once in a great while now, because they're just not an automatic gimme anymore. And okay, fine. But you can't miss 1 every week. You just
no,
you can't. At some point, because if he makes that field goal, it's touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting his defense through hell. Same thing he did in the Commander game, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Where we had to earn a whole nother possession. It was going to be a 2-score game, but it was 1. I'm not sure which game that was.
I think
he misses so many, I can't keep track. He misses every week. So I can't. But the defense has got to be in the locker room going, you know what? You're making it hard on us by missing these extra points. I'm done with that guy.
We have a tortured history with kickers. You're not doing us any favors, Greg.
No. Man, what a game.
On the other hand, the rest of the Viking special teams was actually pretty darn good tonight.
Yeah.
Ryan Wright is awesome.
Ryan Wright sold that penalty. Did a good job on that.
He better be nominated for a primetime Emmy on that.
Yeah.
Because that was
that dude flopped. He sure did. Absolutely he did.
But I will say I thought that was kind of I don't want to say a makeup call, but it sort of evened out that false start penalty that was actually, I thought, offsides, because they called it up.
That was offsides,
Ted! They called the false start on Justin Jefferson, but JJ didn't move until after Brian O'Neill initiated contact when the Patriots defensive lineman went into the neutral zone.
Did you guys remember this play at the beginning of the third quarter? The Patriots had the ball. They had a third down, and I don't know how far it was, but the guy in the slot was standing on the line, and the ball was 1 yard back. The wide receiver was standing on a yard past the ball when they snapped it. Yeah, and I froze it, and I look at Toots, says, look, he's going, why don't they see that? I'm going, I don't know. It was 3rd and 1. It was 3rd and 1. The guy's foot was on the yellow line, clearly lined up off sides, the slot receiver, and they didn't call it. I'm thinking, what are they looking at?
Well, raise a glass. The Vikings are 9-2. Couple other good Thanksgiving Day games. The Lions lost. The Lions went full Lions. Dallas ended up beating the Giants, but the Vikings win 9-2. They inch ever closer to the NFC North title in a home playoff game.
9-2.
They can mathematically wrap up the NFC North next week if things go. If they win and Detroit loses, they wrap up the division, I believe.
Nice. And yeah, I just we talked about Joseph. We talked about special teams. Drew, you've been thinking today Wangu is gonna return one for like 6 weeks now, and he's done it. I mean, that was a sorely needed moment, or a sorely needed return at the absolute perfect moment. The Patriots just gone ahead by a touchdown. They took the opening drive of the second half. Vikings defense just looked completely inept, and Wangu just put a charge in the team and in the crowd with that electric return.
It was well timed.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed that to stem the momentum that the Patriots had picked up at that point, because like you said, they had gotten the field goal going into halftime, and then they got the ball to start the second half because they deferred the coin toss and went down and scored a touchdown. So yeah, the Vikings need to do something. And yeah, Longwu was having a bit of a rough night up to that point. He was getting stopped short on a lot of returns, but yeah, that one was pretty. It was his first one at home, so he's got 3 now. So,
but like awesome. Mr. Glover and I always say, though, if you give that guy 5 or 6 chances, it's a good chance he's going to pop one for maybe not a touchdown, but 60 yards or something. And sure enough, the timing on that was perfect because it seemed like the whole team was down and it was drudgery. It was really, everybody was feeling bad. And Ted, you're right. It kind of sparked the team back up and got them rolling. But I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on what do you like about this team and what do you don't like about this team? If you look at it from, I mean, I don't know. They're so schizo. They're bipolar. I don't know what the deal is.
I'll tell you what I like. I like this offense. I tonight felt like they played about as complete a game as they had all year. 33 points against Bill Belichick, who is a defensive mastermind. He comes in to take away your best player, which is Justin Jefferson, who I believe had 139 yards and a touchdown.
In the 2 games leading up to this one, the Patriots had allowed exactly 6 points in their previous 2 games combined. I mean, I know they weren't playing like the greatest show on turf or anything, but you know, in the National Football League, holding your opponents to 3 points a game, that's pretty impressive. The Vikings went out and put up 33 tonight.
They were only giving up 224 yards a game the last couple games. In today's NFL, that's pretty low. I don't know what we got tonight. Total yards? I don't have
the Vikes had 231 at halftime.
Yeah, the Vikings had 358 total yards.
And Kirk was just under 300 yards, I think.
299.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it was certainly a step up from Dallas. We could do nothing.
Yeah.
But I still think they're leaving a lot out there by they're not opening it up enough. They're not aggressive enough. Running it up the middle every single first down. I mean, I don't know. It feels like they're sluggish, Ted, but still getting 33.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens if they had a screen game? They might score 63. Get a screen game. You're going to have a screen game in the playoffs to keep that pass rush down. You got to develop a screen. I don't know what's so freaking hard about it, but they better get a screen game soon.
They're going to have to figure it out. And I thought when the Vikings traded for TJ Hawkinson, because I think he could be deadly as a tight end screen. And when they set up that screen late in the game and Thielen, it looked like it might have been, or the announcer said it looked like it should have been Thielen getting the ball because he had like 3 or 4 linemen in front of him. But he went out on a route or whatever. I kind of thought if you give a guy like Hawkinson a screen pass with 3 offensive linemen in front of him, unless it's 30 yards, unless it's like 3rd and 30, you got a good chance of getting first down. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is with their inability to execute.
What was that thing at the end when he threw that screen out there, Chris? And there's like 4 linemen and no receiver. I mean, they can't even get close to completing a screen. What was that? What the hell was that?
The screen game is just so awful for this team. You can't even try to diagnose what the hell's wrong with it. It's bad.
You got to have a screen game in the NFL. You have to. Or you're severely hampering yourself.
And in a situation like tonight where the Vikings found themselves shorthanded on the offensive line, the Patriots have a very good pass rush, I think second only to Dallas coming into the game. An effective screen game helps to offset a very fierce pass rush. Now, to the Vikings offensive line credit, like we said earlier, they did a pretty good job. They held their own. But I agree with you guys. If the Vikings are going to go anywhere in the playoffs, they're going to need to be able to pop that play once or twice a game. I mean, they haven't popped it, I don't think, in 6 or 7 weeks.
And you know what? They seem like they're miles from even completing it. It's not like they're completing it and they're getting tapped. They can't even complete the thing. I mean,
no. Or if they do, it's like a 3 or 4 yard loss. Which how can that be? If you've got guys on the perimeter and New England's bringing 6 dudes rushing the passer, you've got a mismatch out there. How in the hell are you losing yards on a screen pass?
When O'Connell played quarterback at San Diego State, Ted, he threw about 80 screens a game. I mean, I know he knows how to do it. He's a quarterback. He knows how to develop the screen. And Wes Phillips, get a screen game because that would help a lot with these heavy pass rush teams.
Speaking of quarterbacks, can everybody shut up about Kirk Cousins not being able to play well in prime time finally?
He beat Mac Jones. He made Mac Jones look like Tom Jones.
That's right.
And that ain't unusual.
Or Mac Davis.
Oh,
Mac Davis.
oh my God. Wow.
What's Mac Davis's football tie-in? Do you remember?
North Dallas 40.
Very good. Well done. Bam. There you go.
Plus, I think he poured the coals to Rita Coolidge, I think.
But no, seriously, one of the things that everybody talks about Kirk is his inability to win during prime time and big games. And he played a good game tonight. 299 yards passing. 2 touchdown passes, I believe. Very, very good pocket awareness, pocket presence. There was one pass. I think the Vikings ended up kicking a field goal on that drive. He broke contain. He kind of faked a throw, and it looked like he had nobody between him and Eden Prairie. I mean, he'd still be running, and he decided to throw the ball to Adam Thielen, who got Patriots hit him late, got a late hit, called a penalty, and the drive continued. But I thought Kirk played a whale of a ball game, guys. I don't know about you guys.
He did. He had the one bad pass where he overshot KJ Osborne again that wound up getting intercepted and returned deep into Minnesota territory. But, other than that, he had a pretty solid night. And like you said, 299 yards, a couple of touchdowns, kept things moving when he needed to. And yeah, it was a solid game for number 8. And the whole primetime thing needs to kind of go away now, I think.
You know where there's a difference of O'Connell, guys, is when Kirk threw that pick, he turtles. He goes into a hole after stuff like that. He gets really on the bench, sulking, head down. O'Connell, he bounced back from that pick. He played very well. He wouldn't do that against Zimmer. He wouldn't. And I think forgetting the bad plays and moving forward is part of the game he's learning how to do, because when he threw that pick and it got returned, I was thinking, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. But he's not letting it control the whole game anymore. And I think O'Connell has a lot to do with that.
One thing on that I want to mention, and for as maligned as the defense rightly was on social media for most of the night, and I piled on, they were atrocious. I mean, you can't give up 380 yards passing to Mac Jones. But after that pick, it was 7-7. Kirk kind of airmailed the ball. It got picked off. Big return. The Vikings defense bowed up and only held the Patriots to a field goal there. That was a big moment in the game, because that, it felt like one of those, the crowd got kind of uneasy, and Patriots go in and score a touchdown there. And you think, man, this kind of feels like last week, and things sort of might have gotten out of control or felt like they could have been. But the Vikings righted the ship. I believe they came back down and scored a touchdown on the next drive and took the lead, didn't they? Or did they? I think it might have been a scoring drive at least. But the defense kept New England out of the end zone, and it was like a 10-7 game when it could have easily been a 14-7 game. So for as aggravating as the defense can be, like you said, at the last part of the game, they pressured Mac Jones, got a couple of sacks. Patrick Peterson made a hell of a play to keep that pass completion, kept the guy in bounds, clock running. That was
smart play.
Tremendous.
Well, if you remember about Buffalo, we did our post game after that. One thing I was pissed about was not covering that sidelines.
Yeah.
And funneling things back into the middle.
Yeah.
Today they were making sure that everything was going to go to the middle, but that shoot about 20 seconds, that was a really smart play. That was probably the smartest play of the game. They again, Ted, to what O'Connell says, we may not make all the plays, but we're going to make the big ones. And they made the crucial ones.
They did.
And the Patriots made the dumbass mistakes, running into the kicker, the late hit on Thielen, gave him a first down. They were making all the dumb mistakes.
That rookie punt returner at the end trying to play hero ball and fielding the punt at the 1 yard line.
Why would you catch that?
Let me ask you this,
what an a-hole.
Hold on.
I'm happy he did it, but yeah.
He returned a punt for a touchdown to win the game last week.
He sure did.
Yeah, he did.
And so do you want to give that kid a chance, or you want to put the game in the hand of Mac Jones?
I'm telling him not to field the punt inside the 5.
I'm telling him to look. He's got a better chance of scoring than Mac Jones has at driving that team down 80 yards with no timeouts.
Mac Jones drove the field on us like 3 plays 3 times. I mean, he's throwing over the middle 30 yards down the field. And nobody's covering people. I mean, I don't know. I was glad he caught it because I was thinking,
oh yeah,
but yeah. Now that you put it like that, you probably you got to take a shot somewhere. I mean, they weren't going to win any. They had 50 seconds left. You got to try to make a return out of it. But when he caught it and ran to the 11, I was going, and there we go. Like you guys said earlier, Chris said we haven't touched Mac Jones all day. Then we get 2 sacks at the end.
Right.
Why the hell do they? It's like they get fired up and they get adrenaline or something, and they come through with the big plays when they needed it. But the defense on those last 4 Patriot drives looked different than all the rest of the drives.
Mark Blowers completely agrees with you, Drew and Chris. Totally agree with Drew. Put your heels on the 10 and don't drift back. Let's see. I saw another one here. Here's a play I want to talk about. Raymond Hoagland brings this up. We've kind of bagged on KJ Osborne. He hasn't been the guy. He hasn't emerged like we thought he would. But that one catch he made that took an interception away in the fourth quarter, that was a hell of a catch. That
it really was.
That could have been a game-turning moment as well.
He's not contributing because they're not giving him a shot. He doesn't get any chances, man.
He's not getting open. I mean, he's not getting any separation. He's not getting open.
No.
Jalen Rieger was wide open in the middle field, got him the ball.
Toots, as we were watching that, Toots said, that's some smart coaching right there. And I said, why? She goes, because you put him in the slot, nobody's going to cover him. That's why he's open. I'm going, brilliant. That's brilliant.
I'm kind of ready to see Jalen Rieger get some more WR3 reps. That's just me, though.
Like in for Casey Osborne, maybe replace him a little bit.
Why not? I mean,
Osborne doesn't get enough chances. I don't think KJ Osborne's played enough to play himself out of the starting lineup or whatever.
Osborne made that great catch. It took an interception away for the Patriot defender,
and he got the run on 3rd down to give him a first.
He got the run on 3rd down to get the first down. That's correct.
Yeah.
On the jet sweep.
When he gets his opportunities, he actually does stuff. But he had the game winner against Detroit and whatnot earlier this year. But like Drew said, I don't think he's getting enough chances.
Because we got Hawkinson, Thielen, Jefferson. I mean, it's hard for him to get any passes thrown his way.
Oh, okay. I just don't think he's all that we thought he was, to be honest.
I mean, can you upgrade from KJ Osborne? I mean, sure you can, but I mean, and
the guy is sitting on the bench that you upgrade from. Jalen Rieger.
Hello?
Yeah.
Ted, it's KJ Osborne. He wants to talk to you for a second.
Oh, no habla inglés, senor.
No, that was a big catch he had. That was a big catch. That was a tough catch. When he took that ball away from that guy, that was really well done. Man, we came up with some big plays there at the end of the game. I just wish the Vikings wouldn't wait till 7 minutes left of the fourth quarter to start playing football.
Yeah.
But they won. They didn't play well, and they still won. That's something we're not getting used to, Chris.
I mean, they don't have to be perfect every week to win anymore. I mean, yeah.
But
it's nice.
This defense, does this look like a defense that can go make a
No.
run in the playoffs, Ted Glover? I mean,
not if
what has happened the last few weeks? What has happened?
I'll tell you. I think 2 big culprits on the Vikings defense these days, and I hate to say it, but Eric Kendricks and Harrison Smith. Kendricks looks like he is 2 or 3 steps late to the point of attack, and when he gets there, he misses the tackle. Harrison Smith again feels like he's late in coverage, and there are plays. There was a play tonight that just kind of epitomizes, I think, where Harrison Smith is at. I can't remember at what point in the game it was, but it was either a quick screen or a sweep, and Smith came up, and normally 2 years ago he just wraps and tackles, and it's a big play, and the Patriots runner ball carrier kind of stutter stepped and went to the sideline, and Smith dove at him, and luckily he tripped his feet up. He tripped him, and he lost, the runner lost his balance, and it was still like a 1 yard loss. But that was a play that 2 years ago, Harrison Smith, he doesn't need to lunge at a dude to make the play. He wraps and tackles, and the play's over before it even begins. I just think these guys are, if not done, close to done.
No, I can understand that. I don't know if the change in scheme has had an effect on Kendricks. I mean, you would think it would have helped him a little bit. He might not have had to cover as much space in the 3-4 as opposed to the 4-3. But yeah, I think I can understand what you're talking about with Kendricks and Smith. I mean, they've been great Vikings for a long time, obviously, but they're probably getting to the end of the line here, I think.
Drew?
The role has changed for Kendricks. We talked about it a year ago, and I said if they bring in a 3-4, I think Kendricks might be one of the guys that struggles because your role and responsibilities are different in the 3-4. The 3-4, your 3 down linemen are supposed to eat up blockers and free up your linebackers. I know it's a lot more complicated than that, but that's basically what you want to do in the 3-4. The guys up front eat up the blockers, and then the linebackers shoot the gaps. He has lost a step, and I think he's always been a good coverage guy, but I saw a couple plays a tight end made for Hunter Henry made, and I was thinking, he's like a step behind, but I don't think it's to the point where you take him off the field. But I think futuristically speaking, this team needs a Roquan Smith. They need a Micah Parsons, a Luke Kuechly.
Can Brian Asamoah be that guy?
Give him a shot.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't believe it, but I do. Asamoah at Oklahoma, look at that tape. He's everywhere on the field. So I think he can be, Ted, but they're getting a little long in the tooth. And Harrison Smith, I mean,
well, now our good buddy Dave Stefano, Luth Krieger, is in our live chat, and he brings up a good point. You know, the Vikings are dealing with a couple of pretty big injuries right now with Cam Dantzler, Caleb Evans, and I think the guy they missed the most on the defensive line, Dalvin Tomlinson. It would kind of look like he was heading to be able to play, but at the last minute he was declared inactive. I will say,
good point by Dave. Yeah,
the 10 days off between now and next Sunday, I would bet Tomlinson's back. There's a good chance that Caleb Evans will be back and out of concussion protocol because he was practicing on a limited basis today or earlier this week. So with this win, the Vikings might be getting some of those guys back. I think Dantzler still has a couple weeks on IR minimum, so we'll see how that goes. But I agree with Dave. I think the injuries have really hurt the Vikings as well, at least on defense, because they were not this bad 3 weeks ago. They were not. They just were not this bad a month ago, 5 weeks ago.
Ask Dave Stefano if he's going whiskey or tequila tonight. I know he's on one or the other.
We probably don't want to know.
David?
I think Dantzler can come back in time for the Detroit game. I don't think he can come back for the Jets game this coming week, but I think he can be back the week after that. It sounded like Tomlinson had a shot to play tonight, but they decided to go a little more conservative with him. He should definitely be back for the Jets game, I would think. But
so you guys think it's personnel? You guys think that the defense has looked bad the last 2 weeks? And you think I know the injuries play into it, but is that everything about it?
No, I mean, Tomlinson was having a really solid season before he got hurt, and we weren't getting killed as bad as we were when he was in there, I don't think. I mean, he missed the Buffalo game. He missed the Dallas game. He missed tonight's game. Did he miss one game before that? He might have. But, yeah, the defense wasn't that bad with Tomlinson and Dantzler and those guys out there. So, yeah.
It felt like they were really kind of starting to gel about 3-4 weeks ago, whatever it was. And then, you know, let's see. Let me go back here.
Let me throw a quick question out to you, Ted, real quick.
Okay.
The pass rush has been a good weapon for the Vikings the first 9 weeks. Mm-hmm. They've been using that, and we always talk about you don't necessarily have to get a sack. Pressure is good enough because pressure causes the quarterback to throw a pick, throw an incompletion. Pressure is just as good as a sack, except you don't get the yardage. The pass rush the last 2 weeks has fallen off. And that doesn't have anything to do really with Dantzler or maybe Tomlinson. He's not our best pass rusher. It seems, you tell me, if the pass rush seemed like it's fallen off the last 2 weeks because they were pressuring everybody up to this point.
I think it definitely has. I mean, it was obvious last week they could get no pressure on Dak Prescott at all. None on Mac Jones until the very end of the game. I mean, I think I saw a tweet. I think it was late third quarter that Mac Jones up to that point had not even been hit.
That's
Like,
you can't.
like he had not even been hit all night. And look, you can't have that bad of a pass rush in the NFL because Mac Jones is not a guy that's going to go out and throw for 382 yards every stinking week. He's not.
No.
But the pass rush has been good up till now. Maybe not elite, but they've been better than average up till the last couple games. What?
Yeah, I think maybe with the injuries to Evans and Dantzler that it just feels like they're going into more of this protective cover 2, cover 4 shell to just keep everything in front of them and not give up a big play. And I think Donatell's idea is okay, we'll give up yardage, but when we get down into the red zone, we'll keep them out of the end zone, which is kind of failing miserably too, because entering the game, the Vikings were 31st in the NFL in run zone or red zone defense. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Here's what I don't get about what Donatell is doing. You're shorthanded in the secondary. I mean, you're starting Duke Shelley and Tay Gowan and Chris Boyd out there at cornerback or whatever. You would think that they would try to do something, whether it's increase your number of blitzes or whatever, to try to get pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. But on just about every play, every time Mac Jones dropped back, you would hear Mike Tirico say, Vikings rush 4, Vikings rush 4, Vikings rush 4. Nothing ever changed. And if you're not going to change things, I mean, you're going to give up the yards anyway. At this point, you could at least get in a dude's face and try to disrupt him a little bit. I don't know why Donatell seems so hesitant to change all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And it was the Commanders game I was thinking of where it seemed like the Vikings defense really started to gel. I mean, it was a 2017 game. The defense played really well for a good part of the game, and then you had the Bills game, the Cowboys game, and then tonight.
And let's face it, the Patriots don't have world beaters out at wide receiver. I mean,
no, they don't. But like you said, man, it's a flawed team, but they won. And with this next 10 days off, you would think Tomlinson and Nikhil Evans will be coming back, and that might be something that two guys the defense will sorely need. But 10 days from now, they're facing the Jets, and the benched Zach Wilson, who have plenty of time to go hit on your mom, but he won't be playing quarterback for the Jets because I think who's the quarterback is
I think Flacco.
Yeah.
No, they're going with Mike White.
Flacco came in the league when Kenny Stabler was in the league. I think Flacco was. Frankenstein Flacco.
So it's not Ken O'Brien. Ken O'Brien isn't starting for the Jets anymore.
It might be Richard Todd. Oh, Richard Todd. Yeah, Richard Todd to Rich Castor. That might be Al Toon. Okay. I think they got Al Toon.
Al Toon.
No, you know what?
John Johnson.
This was a big win because you sandwiched that with the Buffalo game. We really only dropped that. If we lose that Buffalo game and then the Dallas game when we blow it tonight, the team is really in a bad spot. So I like the fact that again, Ted, they figured out how to get the win, and that's all that matters. But still, I'm really concerned going forward. I am. They got to. I don't know what it is either. It's tough to put your finger on because they play good during crunch plays, but when I see a team drive the field in 5 plays, easy plays, I'm going, what?
Yeah, it was frustrating. It was frustrating to see.
Mm-hmm.
He started off that drive with a 30-yard pass to midfield. Guy caught it, got a concussion, got hurt. Then he ran it up the middle for 12 yards. Then he threw a 12-yard pass. Then he threw a 34-yard pass or something for a touchdown. I'm going, well.
The thing that bothered me was the Vikings would put together a good drive, 7, 8, 9 plays, whatever it was, take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, very methodical, get down the field, convert, a couple third downs, score a touchdown, kick a field goal. You're like, oh, that's pretty impressive. And then the Patriots would get the ball, 1-2 play. They started at 20. They started their 20. 2 plays are at midfield. 2 more plays are at the 6. And then 2 more plays later, they're in the end zone. You're like, God, what happened?
It's like, why can't we do that?
I went to pee and the Patriots scored 4 times.
And then we get it back. We got to convert 9 fourth downs to get it down the field.
Right. It was aggravating. But, the Vikings scored. The Vikings won 33-26.
Got it done. Somehow they're getting it done. But, boy, the games that they've lost, they've got their tits licked bad. So,
Yeah.
the Dallas and Philly game, oh, man, those were bad losses. But all the other games, they figured out a way to get it done. I am concerned about the defense, but I'm gonna get what Dave Stefano just said. You know what? He's right. Let's wait for the regulars to get back, get a good starting lineup back there on defense, because we were doing well. The Vikings were progressing weekly on defense, especially against the run, Ted. Now they're back to giving up chunk yardage again.
And interesting to point this out. The Vikings are 9-0 in one-score games this year. Well, 8-0 in one-score games because they beat the Packers 23-7. They're like 0-2 in six-score games. So, when you get beat by 6 scores, you're not going to win a lot of those games. I mean, I'm just putting that out there.
Coach, what do you want to do? It's a 6-score game. Wow. I don't know.
Let's go out and score 50 points on this one play. Let's see how we do.
Yeah, the Vikings really, they make it tough on you, but when they needed to get it done there at the end of the fourth quarter, they got it done. They looked good on defense, and they got, it's like they need to play that for 60 minutes, though. You can't just do that at the end of the game.
So the Vikings have 6 games left. Their next 4 games, they got one more home game on Sunday, December 4th against the Jets. Then they play at Detroit. Then they're home against the Colts and the Giants. I mean, these, and then they finish up with on the road with Green Bay and Chicago. These next 4 games are really winnable games, I think. Drew, I mean, the Jets are a complete mess right now. The Lions are going complete. What the Lions annually do, they just find ways to lose. The Colts, Jeff Saturday ought to change his name to Jeff Sunday if he wins 1 or 2 more games. And then the Giants just sort of fell apart again. They're kind of getting exposed.
Yeah, you look at the last 3 games are really the tough spot.
Yeah,
that's the one we were worried about. We went 2-1, and now we got 3 or 4 game stretch where we got some winnable games. You know what's funny? I look at the sheet that me and you had from 3 months ago. It says New England on Thanksgiving. What will our record be? And you and I had them at 9-2.
Did we really?
Every once in a while, us old fogies. No, we're us old guys who know nothing about analytics. We know something about something.
Did we really have them both at 9-2?
We had them at 9-2, beat the Jets at 10-2, and then we had them somehow losing at Detroit. I don't think that's going to happen, but the schedule definitely these last 3 weeks. We were talking 2-1. We would have been happy with. This was a tough stretch. Buffalo, Dallas, and New England. I mean, those are tough teams, and they're all tough. But at least they're not 0-3 in that run.
Right. And we said this was probably going to be the toughest 3-game stretch of the year. And if you just said, hey, they're going to come out of this 2-1, I think any Vikings fan that's rational and clear thinking would have said, yeah, I'll take that.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the tougher stretches. I mean, you probably include the Jets game. I don't know if anyone thought the Jets were going to be good this year, but they have been, and they are. Yeah. Their defense is still pretty outstanding, even if they are a mess at quarterback and a mess offensively. So
they got a great defense. They got a great defense.
Yeah.
But this 3-game stretch, I think a lot of folks would have taken 2-1 over these last 3 games, and that's what they've done. So we can't get too angry about it, I don't think.
Well,
no, I don't think so at all, Drew.
You look at the schedule, and there's always, the unwritten rule is you win all your home games and then half your road games you're in the playoffs. But what usually happens is you lose a game you really should have won, but then you win a game that you should have lost. And we have that with Buffalo because everybody still, I still think we probably should have lost that game, but we found a way to get it done. We still haven't dropped a game where we should have lost. Philly and Dallas are both good teams. So they haven't done that Mike Zimmer lose to the Bears with a 3rd-string quarterback yet.
No, that's true.
They've been beating all the teams they're supposed to beat, Ted.
And, I got to say, I'm impressed with the Vikings' ability to bounce back. I Drew, you and I said, well, Chris, we all said at the end of our live watch party after that Cowboys debacle that this game was the most important in Kevin O'Connell's young coaching career because the the Vikings got their tits licked, as Drew likes to say.
They did.
And I mean, there's no two ways about it. They got their asses handed to them.
Fully. One of the worst losses I've ever seen as a Viking fan.
Yeah. Yep. And how they would respond tonight would tell us a lot about this football team and how this season would be moving forward. And it was, the defense was struggled and we've talked about it and it's aggravating, but man, they figured out a way to win this game and move to 9-2. And it's something that I don't think we can stress enough, that had they lost this game tonight, it could have very well sent this team into a tailspin.
Yeah.
After that Cowboys loss, and if they'd have lost in the last minute or gotten beat bad again, you would have started questioning everything about the first 2 months of this Vikings start and thought the here and now, this team is not very good. I think they silenced a lot of that talk tonight, Chris.
No, I certainly think they did. I mean, like you said, they got off to a bit of a rough start in this one, especially defensively. It looked a little bleak there for a while. And like you said, if they lose a game like this, especially coming after coming off of the Dallas loss, that's one of those things that kind of starts to snowball, and then you have to see how things go from there. But no, I think they needed this win, and Kevin O'Connell needed this win to show how he could get his team to bounce back after a loss like the one they suffered on Sunday, and he answered the call.
It's a great point.
As somebody mentioned in the comments, and I missed it. Apologies to whoever made the comment. But the Vikings are guaranteed a winning season by winning tonight. They can finish no worse than 9-8, which is their first winning season since 2019. So we got that going for us, if nothing else.
Thank you for that comment, whoever put it in there.
All right. So look, we've been going at this close to an hour. So I think
that's what she said.
Oh, hey-oh.
That's what she said. We're 9-2, big G's.
9-2. That's right. 9-2 Vikes. What we're gonna do, Ruby? Whenever you are ready.
Oh, I love the wheel.
Toonces, we're gonna spin the wheel of Toonces' destiny to announce our show winner. Again, that winner, just get a hold of Ruby at Vikings Report with Drew and Ted at gmail.com. She will send you a link to the Vikings Report prize vault. You can check out the prize vault over at VikingsReport.com. Ruby, are you ready?
I'm ready. Can you see the screen?
We can. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys had a good day today.
That's a lot of names on there. Holy hell.
Yeah, there's, again, a lot of names.
Holy crap. Look at that.
Holy crap. I like the noise. Make the noise go longer.
That's what she said.
As Charlie as Charlie Tapp says, let her rip.
Yeah. Who got it?
Corey
Doolittle.
Is he related to Dr. Doolittle?
I don't know.
Or the Doolittle Raiders.
Or the Doolittle Raiders, yeah. Jimmy Doolittle.
What's a Doolittle Raider? What's that?
True.
We don't have enough time in this show to go through all.
Yeah. Google it when we get off the air. But Doolittle Raiders.
Is that the name of the Packers offense or nickname Doolittle?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. No, you need to Google it. That is one of the great moments in American military history. Anyways,
really is.
So Corey Doolittle, congratulations, get a hold of
Good job, Corey.
Ruby at Vikings Report with Drew and Ted at gmail.com. She'll send you a link to the Vikings prize vault, and you are tonight's prize winner. Congratulations. Vikings win 33-26, moved to 9-2, are guaranteed a winning season for the first time since 2019, and are one step closer to the NFC North and a home playoff game. What we'll do is, Drew, why don't you give us your final thoughts, then Chris, and then we'll call it a night.
I have some concerns, as we talked about on the show, and I think I like what Dave Stefano said, one of our commenters, saying let's reevaluate after we get the injured guys back, because it's the only way to really evaluate your team is with all the starters. I think David makes a good point. Thanks for joining our show tonight, David. We got 6 games left. What's our lead right now? After the Packers lose tomorrow to the Eagles, what will our lead be?
Well, the Packers aren't in second place. I thought the Lions were.
The Lions are. Yep.
And they lost today. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, our magic number is 2.
Okay, we got 6 games remaining. They all look. When you're the Vikings, everything's winnable. So I think they're in a really good spot. I think the team is still. You guys just talked about it, how big this was for O'Connell. You drop this game, that's 2 straight home losses. That's not good. I think it's still fun watching this team, and they kill us every week with these weird 3 and outs that they have, but they're playing as a team, which they weren't doing last year. The gloom is still gone, and I look forward to Vikings football every week. So we're got the Jets coming up, and we're gonna break that down when we do our next live show. So great win tonight. Great win,
Chris.
Yeah, that win was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, like you said, it was something that kind of probably prevented the season from spiraling out of control a little bit. We're still in the driver's seat for the number 2 spot at the very least in the NFC. Still have a shot at number 1 if the Eagles stumble a little bit. But yeah, this was a win the Vikings needed, and they got it. The nobody remembers the Dallas thing anymore, I don't think. So yeah, that's something they needed to do, and yeah, they went out and did what needed to be done tonight.
The NFL is a week-to-week league. You can be king one week and court jester the next. Last week, the Vikings were the court jester. They were the laughing stock of the NFL, and everybody was doubting them. And they came back and they got a big win tonight. I don't think that completely wipes the bad taste out of everybody's mouth from last week, but like you guys both said, it stops a lot of the Vikings are frauds. They're not even, worth the time of day. They're a legitimate football team. It was a huge bounce back win for Kevin O'Connell to get this team ready. Now they got kind of a mini bye. They've got, 10 days off, and they got the Jets coming to town. So it's looking really good for the Vikes between now and next Sunday. So look, folks, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope we got your fill of turkey. And stuffing and mashed. Did you guys have traditional the whole 9 yards today?
No, I had pizza.
Did you really?
Yeah, I ordered a bunch of pizza. I like pizza. I don't like turkey. What'd you guys have? What was your turkey plate consist of today, Ted? And how many plates did you have?
It was fried and smoked turkey.
Nice.
Mashed potatoes, stuffing, carrots, yams.
Oh, you just ruined
and
yams.
What else do we have? Oh, pie.
Yams.
Strawberry rhubarb and what? Well, that was all the sides. I didn't get yams. I had carrots, mashed potatoes, gravy, turkey. Oh,
you're going to make a plate after the show right now, aren't you?
You're damn right I am, and I'm taking a bunch of leftovers into the office tomorrow.
What about you, Chris Gates? All turkey and mashed potatoes, or what you? Please don't tell me yams. Yeah. Yams taste like tube socks and farts.
Not. Why would I do that? No. You do that, there's less room for the turkey and mashed potatoes. What the hell would you do that for? But yeah, that's basically what it was. But it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Well, look, everybody, thanks so much for taking some time out of your Thanksgiving day and joining us. Yeah, your Vikings Report family. Vikings win 33-26, moved to 9-2. The division title is so close you can taste it. For Drew, for Ruby, for Chris, Drew and I will be back next Monday to preview the Jets game, and we will all three be back next Sunday after the Vikings take on the Jets. So for Drew, for Ruby, for Chris, once again.